All right, next question up. Read the question sentence first. Question sentence says, how much time is saved on the return trip? Okay, one more time. We are looking for time clearly, how much time, but specifically we want to know how much time we saved on the return trip. Okay, so my understanding about that, I'm going to read the actual story to help back up what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say we're going to subtract. Here's how I know. It says a delivery van drives this distance to the warehouse at this speed and then returns at this speed. So it looks like we go a certain speed there and then a certain speed back. Everyone, hypothetically speaking, again, just throwing random numbers out here for the example, hypothetically speaking, if we were to have taken, let's say, 10 hours on the way there, and then on the way back, we took 3, or let's go ahead and say 12 hours on the way back. Everybody, how much time would we be saving? Well, that's going to be a matter of subtraction. So if I wanted to actually use a really good example, we could probably use something less than 10. We can go with, let's go ahead and say 6 hours. But if you take a look, if we took 10 hours to get there, and then we took 6 hours to get back, you're going to subtract the 10 minus 6, and that's going to give you 4 hours that you saved. Because it would have taken you 10 hours to get back, but no, you only took 6. So it was a difference of 4. You saved 4. So with that example, let's tackle this problem here. It says delivery van drives 180 miles, so the distance there is 180 miles. And the rate that we drove at was at 40 miles per hour. On the return trip, everybody, the return trip says that we drove at 60 miles an hour. So I'll go ahead and draw that and write that right over here. But my party people, what's the distance? Is it still 180? Is it something different? Well, the way that the sentence is written, it clearly says the van drove 180 miles there and then returned at this speed. But if it returns, it's the same distance back. Point A to B is the same as point B to A, unless otherwise stated. So boom, same distance, 180 miles. Now to get each of those times, the time over here and the time over here, everybody, what operation are we going to use when we set it up? Distance equals rate times time. Yeah, we're going to be using division here. So once we use division, we divide both sides by 40. And from there, we can go ahead and just do some long division to get what that'll be. So here we go. 40 going into 180. 40 goes into 180. That'll be 4 times. And that's 4 times 40, which would be 160. 20 left over. And what I do from here is I'll go ahead and use my decimal place. Write that 0 right after because that's where it is. It exists always. Drop that 0. And then 40 to 200, that'll be 5. 40 goes into 200 5 times, or 4 goes into 20. Either way you want to look at it. But there we are. So the time for the trip there is 4.5 hours. Now here's what we're going to do with part B. Let me just move this over here, and let's keep working. So here, to find this time, we have distance equals rate times time. Divide both sides by 60. And now we get time is 3 hours. Cancels out on the right. 180 divided by 60. That'll be 3. So booyah, my party people. We have the time there, the time back. To find out how much time we saved, we'll simply do 4.5 minus 3. Once we subtract, we have 5 right there. 4 minus 3 is 1. And we save ourselves 1.5 hours. And that, my friends, is answer choice C. Next problem, and we're going to be evaluating a somewhat uncomfortable expression, right? Because if we're dealing with a calculator, great, sure, but in this instance, we're not. So we have 2.5 times A minus 1.2 times B plus 3.1. And what we're going to be replacing the variables with are A equals 4 right over there and B equals 5 right here. So what we'll do is first replace those values and we'll deal with those decimals. It doesn't sound like we have a ton of time, so let's just dive in. 2.5 multiplied by 4. Then we have minus 1.2 times B, which is 5, plus 3.1. From here, we just got to put in the work. So first up, we have 2.5 multiplied by 4. And when you think about 2.5 multiplied by 4, everyone, you can honestly just think about it as 25 times 4. 25 times 4 is 100. And then just bring the decimal back right there. That'll be 10. So boom, 2.5 times 4. Or again, you can think about this as $2.50 times 4. That'll give you $10. From there, let's take a look at this step right over here. 1.2 multiplied by 5. It works the same exact way. We have 1.2 multiplied by 5. Everyone, if we think about this as 12 times 5, that'll end up being 60. And then we just bring one decimal place back, and that will be 6. So we have 10 minus 6 plus 3.1. And that's it. We'll get to it here. We have 10 minus 6, which gives us 4. And then we have 4 plus 3.1, which ends up being 7.1. And so therefore, everyone, our correct answer is going to be answer choice D. Again, 7.1. And if decimals are giving you a tough time, just remember, you have those resources in your course to help you work on decimals top to bottom.